There we go.
Morning.
Very good. All right. Good morning. In the interest of time, this is the big timer I was talking about to you earlier. Yes. So
Okay.
I'm going to jump right into it. Elena Mariam, thank you for being here. First and foremost, thank you for coming to FHS. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
Have you
Pleasure
both.
being here.
Let me, Elena, I'm going to start with the far. They told me in moderator school always start with the far side. So here I go. Elena, let me start with you. For you guys in Sharjah, I know that we've talked beforehand yesterday on a call. We'll be transparent. I know that you said for you guys it's local concepts, local ideas is something that's very detrimental to what you guys do. So would you tell me a little bit about the kind of the importance of the people that come into this conversation of local as well. So working with locals, people that have been in the region for a while, how have you seen that kind of develop over the last couple of years?
So obviously, I work for Shuruk. Shuruk is a governmental entity from Sharjah. Of course, I have a lot of Emirati colleagues.
Yes.
And a lot of them are actually from Sharjah, originally from Sharjah or from neighboring areas, or from eastern coast areas of Sharjah, which is Kalba, Korfakan. And in general, I believe that this brings a lot of culture and a lot of heritage and a lot of history, because a lot of them grew up in the families in those regions when technology probably wasn't around yet, so they can bring a lot of the taste and the way the hospitality is done in their own homes, in their mom and pop home where they grew up, in their grandmother's house where they were running around as kids. So, and then also in Shuruk, where also for example, for our retreats and hotel portfolio, we're all about unique experiences, creating unique experiences that are located in very interesting landscapes, around Sharjah region. So some of them are on the coast, like, for example, we have in Kalba region, which is actually on the border with Oman, we have the Kingfisher Retreat, very, very beautiful location next to the very old, over 300-year-old mangroves. We have some locations that are near the mountains, in the desert. So, and in F&B, because I'm an F&B girl, in F&B, we always try to reflect the landscape and bring the landscape and bring the ingredients from the region to our menus, So, for example, like recently, we partnered with a famous chef in Kingfisher Retreat in Kalba. And Kalba actually historically was located on the silk and spice route that was coming from Japan to Europe. And it was a strategic hub for maritime sailors. So we worked with a chef to create the menu. It is an all-day dining menu because eventually it is the only restaurant inside the retreat. We created the menu that reflects ingredients and the spices.
From that route.
Reflects that idea of the spice route, from the neighboring regions, starting from India, from Southeast Asian continent to Arabian world, and mixing all of that cultures together, because eventually, historically, they were all mixed, and that region represents the mixture. It comes from those times. So, yeah.
Very good. Mariam, your perspective on this, obviously honored to have you here as well. What you've built with Montauk is, and we've just discussed it earlier when we were standing at the table, is something truly incredible. If we look at what you've built from the cafes to the restaurants, the influence of your family we just talked about as well, to the academy and the bakery and all these things, do you sometimes feel like perhaps the local influences that clearly are there in your business are more appreciated now because people are looking for that, that true local authentic experience than perhaps when you first started?
Yes. So from actually what we saw in the market itself now, before the luxuries, meaning mostly the global fine dine names, which is coming to the globally to our countries and the other countries, either GCC or we can say the other Arabic countries. Now what we see that the people or the guests they are coming, they want to taste the city. it's not about the food. So what I see that they want to have the ingredients, they want to feel the soul of the food itself. They want to know the experience, the behind all. We can say the dishes that they tried and they have it. From my side, what I see that yes, they are craving to have the local brand and identity, which is showing our culture through the food, which is showing our habit. And you know, I am proud to be an Emirati and chef Emirati, and the first Emirati chef that I got the Best of Gastronomy gold medal. And this is something is important, and this is empowerment from the UAE, and especially from the mother of nation with her guidance. So this is something is like I aim to have the all identity of our local brand to be everywhere, and it will be appreciated. And this is what I see from all our guests, influencer, and a lots of people who is coming just to explore the city, plus the food tasting and the story behind of this. So we are showing like I can say it, we are showcasing behind all the plates that we are presenting at one of our brand under Montauk Holding Group. Like one of them, like Kashtat Amina, which is placed in Al Jadda, Sharjah. And this is, I'm proudly to say that I am the partner with Arada. So we are creating the connection between us and the local farmers. And they are, by the way, importing for us all the food, the ingredients, the all local ingredients that what we need. So this is how we transformation the, you know, from to what we have now. The identity is something is more important for the guests that are coming from abroad.
Would you say, Mariam, that the story has become more important as well? Because yes, the locality is one thing, but we just talked about it outside as well.
Yeah.
That the story that people feel and connect with the experience has become more important. Social media clearly playing a role in that, and we can do an own panel just about that. But would you say that that's grown that
Actually,
importance?
to be honest, now what I saw in the market and all the people, they are aware the success project, the success concept, if they have a good story. Beyond of that, imagine if it's a real story. So I'm starting from the small kitchen, from the neighborhood, then I create one cafe from neighborhood, then I translate this is to be one of the luxury brand, which is like from, as I mentioned to you, from 1 week I was the same place here. I'm doing the catering for Jumeirah for the conference that before this, which is the economy and the cybersecurity forms. So this is something is important to have the story beyond of that. As I mentioned to you, I am the mother also and the wife. My husband, he's a chef. My kids, they are a junior chef. My mom, she's the super chef, and she's and she's beyond of this one. So I have two brand under her name. One Kashtat Amina, which is giving the heritage, and all the people they want to visit there to see the story beyond of the heritage of the Emirati food, the classic way of the cooking. Now, once you go for the other restaurant, which is located in Abu Dhabi, Al Reem Mall, it is like elevated our, you know, and enhanced and elevated to be like a first Emirati fine dining restaurant, which is telling a story. I can say it like Mama Amina home after 1995. So how is the way that we're changing? We put a wallpaper, we have a nice phone, a classic one. This is everything. So you will see we have a candle. So something is nice, which is coming to us, and you will see everything is red because Mama Amina, she loved the red color. I don't know why. From we are small, we see the red everywhere. But I see that the hospitality, it's grown from the home itself. So this is the important thing that to know.
Elna, you as you called yourself just earlier an F&B girl, there's one part of the F&B experience that we obviously need to consider as well. And as much as we like, you know, local influences, the stories and so on, it's the customer. Let's not forget about him or her. How do you feel about the customer's appreciation for locality in whatever shape or form? You know, we talked beforehand a little bit about educating the customer about this as well. Why we're doing it? We're not just doing it because it's a great story, but there's actually there's multiple other elements behind this. How far along in the, let's call it the appreciation cycle of the customer are we, and how much educating do you guys see in Sharjah and Shuruk that you still need to do in some cases in the hotels and in the outlets, whatever maybe? How confident are you with the customer? How happy are you with the customer these days?
That's a great question. How happy we are with the customer. I think there is two aspects to it. So one is, let's say, the baseline is that the food connects people, and people find out about different cultures through food, and this is amazing, and this is what we all trying to do here, or maybe all the, not maybe, but for sure all the other countries are trying to do the same, right? Having said that, there is a difference when you have the standalone restaurants where you can showcase, you know, you can have your a la carte menu, you can have your seasonal menus, you can showcase exactly what you want to showcase. You know, maybe it's going to be the modern Emirati cuisine. You know, we will modernize it. We'll present it in a different way. We'll present it in traditional way. You know, we elevate it, or we like downplay it in a way, you know, or do it as street food, and that's fine and stand alone. Now, sometimes we have challenge in our properties because it's hotels and retreats. If we want to do something unique, the properties are quite isolated in a way in their location. So it's not easy to, for example, go to a supermarket next door or whatever. So people, in a way, we have to be mindful of a customer, because we have a lot of international customers that actually expect, you know, we're coming from a huge and a long era of people getting used to lavish buffets in five-star hotels, you know, like breakfast buffets, everything, whatever you like is going to be delivered to you. So all
Club
of
sandwich.
club sandwich, the famous club sandwich, you know, club
Kids
sandwich.
order always.
Yes, you know, so when people, it's still about changing the mindset of a customer, and that change is not going to be very fast. We can't do it at a snap of our fingers, you know. It's going to take time. I feel it's the same story with sustainability, you know. The idea that our retreats vary from 5 to 40 rooms, probably we're not going to do a buffet every day, you know, because it doesn't make sense for us. So, and the same in terms of sustainability and in terms of the experience that we want to bring, the unique experiences. But then the customer also needs to understand that. Why are we doing? So I think actually this point is not only our response, like, you know, eventually it's not only our challenge or Mariam's challenge, it's everybody's challenge in the hospitality industry. You know, how we started a few years back, really pushing for sustainability. The same way we can start pushing for, if you are choosing to be in a unique location and have this amazing experience, maybe you will be open as a customer to try something unique, you know, and club sandwich you can eat at home eventually, you know.
Yes, or in any other hotel. That's very true. Yeah, very good. Mariam, let me ask you about something that you know has been very popular in F&B for a while now, and that's partnerships in any shape or form, right? You know, there's a lot of conversation, and you mentioned it already. You work with some farmers in some regions very closely. How important is that, and has maybe that importance grown as well to work with local champions, whether it's the farmer or you know a food delivery or produce, whatever it may be, it doesn't matter. How important have these partnerships become over time for somebody like you, especially, who's built certainly part of your success on the Emirati background that you have?
So from my side, like I know that the community now, they see the food as meaning. So there is something beyond of all the foods. Imagine as I mentioned to you, we make a collaboration between the farmers and Montauk holding groups. And this is something is important for us to be proud from the land that grow something which is we can use and we can give to our guests, to our, the tourists, they are coming, they want to treat, to check and to try. The other things, the trusting is there. So this is something is important. The community, they need to trust the brand, and they will trust it once you say that it is locally branded, it's supporting from, like, let us say, the local farm, local market. We can say it, even, by the way, the tourists, when they are visiting the country, they check where is the local brand that we want to try the food. Because this is what I mentioned to you. They don't want to try the city, or they don't want to see the city. They want to try the food. They want to check the story behind of everything. Because our culture and our heritage is talking about everything. So once you come to my restaurant, if I will give you the full of the Arabic coffee in the cups and it's full, this is meaning it's like I give you a wrong culture from our UAE nation, by the way. This is meaning that you can go outside now. So this is something that I think that you will learn, and we will teach you something from the country that you visit, and you can take it back as a souvenir, by the way, that you are taking some gift from us, that you know about the things that going around of what we have. And this is, I think, supporting from the government itself now. We need to be more I think, seeking about the local brand and the identity itself.
Very good. Elena, if we talk about localization, then obviously there could be an argument there that perhaps if we look at Sharjah and the idea of localization, you guys might have a small advantage compared to the big brothers and sisters you have in the Emirates with Dubai and Abu Dhabi and so on and so forth. Would you argue that perhaps sometimes Sharjah has a maybe even a competitive advantage in the localization game, if we want to call it that, because you guys have some great stories to tell and perhaps are not as often frequented in globalization talks as your big brothers and sisters? Is there an argument there that could be made?
Most definitely, Fritz. We in Sharjah, so Sharjah is a very unique emirate because, first of all, it has actually two sides of the coast, from the west coast and the east coast. On the Kalba and Korfakan region, the east coast. And in general, Sharjah is very different from other emirates because their vision is to have the heritage, history, culture, art, and some of the most famous, the Biennale, for example, is always in Sharjah. They have the book fair. Sharjah Book Fair is the most famous book fair in UAE. Also, it is about bringing communities together. So actually, when we so it's diversified landscape, very diversified landscape. We have the coast, we have the mountains, we have the desert, all of that. Plus, obviously, the vision of Sharjah of having differentiating themselves by focusing on culture, art, and what I said, and heritage and history. And we try to reflect that actually in our restaurants and in our portfolio of hotels and retreats.
Would you say that if we look at the future, that perhaps maybe that advantage is going to get even greater because localization is something that people actively search for on the internet, and at the end of the day, what is also true is yes, you're the next emirate along from Dubai, but you're not far by all means, right? It's not. It's still all very.
Depends how long you stay.
Okay,
in
depends on traffic. Yeah, okay, fair enough. I get that's very true. But generally speaking, in kilometers, not in hours, you're not that far. So do you think that advantage is going to be greater? And do you think that perhaps you're also going to be looking to capitalize on that from your role, right, from the F&B leading role? Is there an element there where you want to capitalize on that further?
Personally, definitely, because all my previous experience was actually in Dubai, and when I came to Sharjah, I was actually absolutely blown away with the locations, with the landscape, with beautiful, like honestly, my Instagram feed probably for 1 or 2 months, I think my followers were like, oh my God, enough about Sharjah. But I could not stop raving about it, as also a customer, as a person that's been living in UAE for so long. So definitely as a personal mission from me is to spread more awareness for the staycations, for the local travel, like people who live in the UAE, coming to Sharjah, experiencing and their territories, its territories, and experiencing this amazing offer is what we have, yes.
Very good. Mariam, just like that, 15 minutes, 20 minutes have passed, so I'm going to speed up a little bit. Mariam, if I have to swing back to the topic, where is it? To the topic of the conversation, and I'd love your perspective as an Emirati chef and one of the Emirati chefs, if you don't mind me saying so, on hotel dining. To pick up on what Elena said earlier, clearly not an easy topic, right? Because there's a certain expectation from hotel guests that are, that is the club sandwich. Sorry, that is always going to be there. How do you? What are some things that you feel you can do as a chef or as an F&B on site, on property, to strike that balance between the club sandwich buffet expectation, but coming along with some local influences, which you guys have clearly mastered at Montauk? I realize it's a very broad question, but try your luck with it, please.
So what I know that now the world has changed and the mind has changed also. So our guests now, they changed the luxury from using caviar and some of the gold touch with something with the soul and story also, as I mentioned, behind this dish. And this is something is important. Now, what we did at Montauk, we can say it, holding, and all our brand, Kashat Amina, or Montauk Restaurant, Montauk Bakery, we are creating nice dishes, which is with our classic, but we are elevated in the presenting. So speak up, our dishes speak up with the new things, so they can keep, by the way, clicking. And this is something is important for our guests to keep clicking for us. And this is something is important to interaction. So from my side now, the luxury of the food serving in the hotels itself, it to be different. I think the hotels, they need to change their mind. Instead that bringing the global names of fine dining to bring the local identity for their hotels, which is it will give more value, giving more authentic of this place, giving more stories telling and showcasing for the country that they have it on it. So this is something is important to think.
Very good. The timer is on 0, but I'm going to
Zero.
steal 60 seconds from FHS. Elena, give me one future outlook, and we have not discussed this beforehand, so this is really putting you on the spot. Give me one thing for the F&B world in the future that you think is going to a trend or something that's coming or something that's perhaps already there and that's going to grow. Give me one thing that you see as something that's going to shape and define what you guys are doing in Sharjah, but also in the extended F&B world. Is there something that comes to mind where you think this is really something we're going to see? It doesn't have to be localized a trend in any shape or form. Is there anything that comes to mind where you think this is going to happen or happening stronger?
I believe it's going to be the smaller, like more niche experiences, and maybe it's not for everyone. I always say that, like all of us, right? Maybe we are not for everyone, but that's okay. That's good. We can't just satisfy everyone. I think going niche is the way.
Going niche in F&B is the way. There we go. You heard it here first. Mariam, one outlook from you, 12 months from now, when the three of us come together again at FHS. What is something in the F&B world, and it can be very pertinent to you guys at Montauk as well. What's something that you guys are going to work on, something that you want to bring, something perhaps a trend that's going to become stronger from the academy, the bakery, the cafe, any of the restaurants? It's entirely up to you.
This is the hard question.
I mean, I'm here for the difficult questions.
After 12 months?
12, whatever, 3, 12, 6, 18 months,
Yeah, so
doesn't matter.
Okay.
What's
now
a trend
under,
that's gonna-
under Montauk group, by the way, we are building now our Mariam Al-Mansouri, Chef Mariam Mansouri Academy.
There
And
we go.
hope that at that time I will be here presenting the academy with
There we
all
go.
my students sitting here.
And then we're going to have rows of students here.
Yeah.
Ladies, thank you very much for your time. Have a good afternoon.
you.
Thank you so
Thanks
much.
very much.
And the ladies are around. If you want to ask any questions now, they'll be around. Thank you.